They didn't answer. They just had
they don't give a damn.
You'll appeal videos, and they'll be like, your appeal has been denied. Thank you. And I'm like, I have like written permission from these guys.
Yeah.
I bothered them to write a letter, and they won't. There's no. They will either mute your video or they'll delete your video. And muting is just as good as deleting. I don't know what mute is like.
Or the channel.
Get rid of your channel completely. So what you have to do is you have to apply for YouTube partnership, and then they sort of work with you. They relax because they're making money off you. You know, because they take a cut. The Angry Joe Show, when I first started, and I started to get a lot of viewers, you know, we're going, you know, 1,000 subscribers, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. I thought I was hot shit. I was like, all right, I want to apply for a YouTube partnership. So I applied for a YouTube partnership, got denied. Then I was like, oh. So then I applied again, and they have a 2-month window. You can only apply every 2 months. So I applied. My subscribership 20,000, 30,000. And I'm still getting denied. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I'm one of the bigger reviewers here. What's going on? I got denied 8 or 9 times before I finally got a partnership through the Game Station, which is sort of like a machinima. And it's because YouTube is very, very, I don't want to use that word, but they are very strict. They are very strict people about, you know, licensing and content and stuff like that. And so what machinima does and what that Game Station does is they sort of take on the legal responsibilities and now have a team of lawyers and stuff like that, and they'll kind of bring you under their wing, and it's a little more acceptable to kind of open those stuff up, so they'll give you a partnership. But because YouTube, there's a lot more views there, their CPMs are a lot lower than, say, Blip TV, I can tell you that. So that's why it's good to start your own website. So in addition to your YouTube stuff, direct people to your own website that you create. So you do angryjoeshow.com, that's where you put all your Blip videos. So you get your audience on YouTube with, you know, getting 10,000 views, and you say, hey, you like my stuff? Go over to my website. And they'll go over to your website and they'll watch your Blip stuff, and you get maybe 1,000 views on your Blip player. But because it's much better CPM, you'll be making about the same.
You gotta pimp your website. You gotta put links in your
website. Nobody's gonna pimp you but you. Don't be afraid to pimp yourself. That gentleman over there.
Go total 4 hours. Yeah, what we should probably do is run a little low on time. I think we should probably just take one.
Okay, sure.
Let's just do my blue-strife.
For videos like Kickassia and Suburban Nights, do you expect higher CPMs? And if you do, how do you divide the funds up between yourselves?
Well, I mean, stuff like that is, I mean, that is a bit of an investment. I mean, but never to a point where it's going to break on. But yeah, it's pretty much on top of the CPMs. So we also have DVD sales, which helps out a lot. So. Yeah, I mean, with the first year, not much, but or you pick yourself up. Yeah, I say the combination of those. Well, on top of that, like the the crossovers that people do and stuff like that. I mean, all that stuff feeds in, and people love crossovers, and yeah, they like watching the yearly anniversary. So yeah, it's almost always going to be.
Mike is the business side, so he knows about all this. We don't really know all that much, but you imagine how much it costs to take. What were we, like 20 video producers, 29 video producers?
Up in New Zealand,
New Zealand branch, you're talking about $1,500, $2,000, then all the hotel rooms. It gets pretty expensive, but, it's all about, but it's unparalleled to get all of these people in the same place and see them working together and doing the collaboration. I mean, this is my favorite part of working with Channel Office is the year anniversaries. They're so fun, and they're so worth it.
Let's see who's got the black shirt down.
Yeah, thanks. There's one thing I've been curious about, like, so what you were saying for people who's trying to get out there, but say, like, because how this is growing the more cynical years where people try to nitpick, saying, like, or they're trying to copy others, because I remember seeing this one person who does online reviews by the name of the Necro Critic, who does, like, various, like, random stuff, like certain movies or animes, like, more modern times, but he kept being compared to you and the Kara, even made jokes about it, he was ripping off your stuff, but even it was, like, all April Fool's joke stuff, but people would take it so seriously. So how would you respond to those who are trying to get new stuff, but dealing with such criticisms as saying that you're ripping off of other materials or just not being original there?
I just, because I was there. Anytime someone throws something negative at you or something, if it's a legit problem, if this person's right, I'm doing something wrong, I mean, you should fix it, you should probably find a clever way to either address it or at the very least fix it or stop doing it. But if it's something where it's like, no, this is my thing and stuff like that, again, be clever about it. The whole thing with the video game nerd, I was getting a lot of people say, oh, you're very similar. You sort of got, a very similar thing going on. And I made the video calling him out, and in the back of my head, I'm thinking, wouldn't it be funny if this turns into a YouTube channel? I never thought it would happen, but sure enough, I sent him an email, never expecting to get an email back. Just sort of saying, hey, just to clarify, this is just for fun. I don't really hate you. No, because a lot of people thought, you son of a bitch. And he wrote me back and said, no, I love your 5-second movies. Those are great and stuff like that. Maybe there is something funny here. And we just started chatting, and we went from there. So just take it, turn it into something positive. Just work with it. And keep going. Don't let it stop you. I mean, if it gets really big and a lot of people are talking about it, you sort of have to address it in some way or another. And usually the best way to address it is with comedy. Again, I mean, it's just a great way to acknowledge a fault that's happened, but you're acknowledging it, you're making fun of yourself, and people love it when you can make fun of yourself and have a joke and show you have a good sense of humor.
Me, myself, I was very concerned when I first started out. My name is Angry Joe, okay, and you have Angry Video Game Nerd. So, I was expecting a lot of hate, a lot of, emails and hate mail and stuff like that. But, I actually didn't know too much about the nerd. I think I saw like 1 or 2 videos, and in the back of my mind, like, it inspired me and stuff. But I didn't know too much about him. And honestly, I haven't gotten that much hate or anything like, oh, you're just an AVG ripoff. And I'm really surprised by that, because I would have expected more, because I heard that he has, very dedicated fans, are very passionate about his stuff, and they'll go and they'll attack people. But I haven't gotten a whole lot of that. And I think it's because, my show is definitely different. You are doing something different, and people want to it's easier for them to label you. You're just a ripoff or something like that. But, if you have a different format, and you have a different format, and just because you both have angry in your name, nobody has a copyright on being angry. Being true and being honest, if this thing really sucks, don't play it, or this is how I feel about it. So, for the most part, you kind of have to shrug off that stuff or ignore it. Don't bring attention to it, because some of them can just be trolls. They're looking to bait you so that they can then become famous off of making controversy off you.
That's a very good point. That's something I should bring up. Only address it if it looks like the majority of your viewers are seeing it. If it's just a troll, it's a troll. Or if it's a little group of trolls, it's just a little group of trolls. And they keep exactly right. Don't give attention to it, because that's exactly what they're looking for.
I don't think we have time for any more questions, because we got 5 minutes. I think the last thing I'd like to say is, I forgot to mention this in my own channel. You're making yourself a public figure. And when that happens, you're going to get criticism. You're going to get a lot of it. You're going to get, you're going to get good support, and you're going to get people who hate you.
And you're going to make mistakes.
If you get more and more hate, sometimes in the case that means that you're growing. You're getting an even more audience, and you're bringing on new people.
That's very true.
And you know what? Those people that say they hate you and they hate your guts, they watch your videos. They want to take it apart. So it's like, thank you for the views, sir.
I know people who are not good out for that kind of criticism. I've gotten threats. I've had people wish me to get hit by a truck full of cancer. That was actually an email I got. I hope you die getting hit by a truck.
My favorite was you need to shave your mustache, you pubic lip fuck. All my mustaches.
I've had people make fun of my big Junos. They say it's like.
I laugh about it.
But I know people who would be like, I have a big Juno. You gotta be secure in that what you do is funny and thick-skinned, and you gotta be able to shrug that stuff off. It's hard. It's really hard, especially when people rightly pick out some flaws in your technique, or they'll be like, the sound here is really not that good. It's hard to listen to. And, some of my videos, my early videos, were not that good. And all you gotta do is, if they're right, fix it.
Take feedback. Take constructive criticism.
But if they're obviously trying to bait you, you got to be able to recognize that and know that criticism is really just trying to get a rise out of you and be able to shrug it off. And that's hard. It's harder than you think, especially when you're dealing with, I got 19,000 some Twitter followers. Even if 1% of those guys hate my guts, that's a lot. It's 1,900 people. Or that's not 190 people. Math. It's like 190 people who are going to send me really diabolical death threats.
There was some really.
But to keep in mind with that too, I mean, what kind of sucks is that negative feedback is always. I mean, if like 9 out of 10 people love your stuff, but 1 doesn't, you're gonna want to know about that one. That one's gonna drive you nuts. You're gonna want to find out about that one.
It draws your attention, really.
Yeah, but you have to remind yourself there's still 9. you know, that really like you. You have to feed on the positive. You have to really trust what you're doing, because for whatever reason, negativity really it gets such a faster impact. Maybe it's the survival instinct that when we get something negative, it's like, okay, I have to draw my attention because I want to survive. I want to, you know, I want to stay positive and everything. So,
you know, if you talk to those people that are those 9 people and say, what can I do better? They'll give you constructive feedback better than any troll.
yeah.
That's all the time we got. Thanks for